Good morning. Hello, 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 my friends, my family, babes, beasts, bots, and everyone in between. Yes, my Without Bounds community, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me now and in the future. This person right here. I am Jordan from Without Bounds. Without Bounds Now on Instagram, withoutboundsnow.com, and Without Bounds Now on YouTube, where we put all of these videos in the aftermath, pending Instagram lets us save it, which they have been for the most part. So if you ever want to catch these videos in the aftermath, just go head over there. So today is, well, clearly a lot sunnier than it was yesterday. I guess we always got to start with small talk instead of just jumping right into it. I'm kidding. So, what I want to talk about today is a lesson that really helped shape the way that I see personal development, the way that I see how to approach a change in your life, anything that you're seeking to really transform and to change, basically. And the reason that this is important, too cold? Nah, I have I have some things I gotta do here at the house, so it's never too cold for me. But with this process, it really changed my perspective on how business is done, on how I view myself as entrepreneur, how I view myself as just whether it's my diet, my sleep schedule, whatever the case is. And I know it might sound a little confusing, like, Jordan, what are you talking about? So when I started venturing into the entrepreneurial realm, typically, if you're like me, you start meeting lots of people. And you might meet people that are part of these MLMs. You ever encounter these network marketers, the multi-level marketer people? Well, my encounters with them have been extremely funny, extremely redundant, and it always ends the same way, with me saying no. But they tend to ask you a very specific question. They ask you, are you process-oriented or are you outcome-oriented? And when I was first asked that, I was very confused, because I like to think of myself as both. So what are you? Are you process-oriented? Are you outcome-oriented? How do you feel about the question in that? Good morning. Because when you're asked these questions, it can be out of left field. Because I look at my life and it's like, all right, well, I'm process-oriented because I definitely think about, the steps involved in things. I think about what needs to be done versus where we're going or anything like that. I get lost in the details sometimes. But then to ask me, am I outcome oriented? Well, yeah, of course I'm thinking about what it is that we're even trying to achieve. Like what is it that we're doing this for? Why do this at all? So for me, those kinds of questions were a little out of left field. And I didn't really understand what it was that I was being asked and what they were trying to achieve when, when these network marketers are like, are you process oriented, outcome oriented? So, in my time in personal development, as I've been coaching over the last few years, what I've come to really value and take to heart is something beyond the two of those. Something that I think that network marketers aren't even approaching when it comes to this. And, if you are someone, someone that in that field, you might want to let them know this. But beyond that, for your own life, this will be extremely useful. And I promise it will help you understand how to go beyond, and why you should go beyond just what is a process or what is an outcome for yourself. And that is simply to understand identity. What? Identity. And what do I mean by that? Well, instead of, and we could frame it like this, the process-oriented person is focused mostly on the how. The how, How, the question. They're focused on the steps involved, what it is that's going to take you from point A to point B. They're much less concerned about what A is and what B is and just getting the process in between. Versus someone who is focused on the outcome, is focused mostly on the what. What it is that we're here to do. What is it we're trying to achieve? Are we hitting, 3 sales calls a day, 10 sales calls a day? We're trying to, develop 50 leads a month. What is it we're trying to do? And the problem with the outcome is that you're only focused on B, and you're not focused on how you're going to do it. You're not focused on why you're doing it. And it's mostly just it's goal driven. While it is goal driven, but it doesn't have direction. It's moving towards something, of course, but the place in between is a bit mysterious. And the way that we're able to combine the two, the way that we're able to synthesize the two, is to think of it in terms of identity. Does this make sense? If it doesn't, then I promise, stick with me, it's about to. So the idea is that identity helps you cross that bridge, helps you bridge the divide between outcome and process. And what do I mean by that? Well, for me, identity is a collection of habits and results. It's a collection of both steps you need to take. It's a collection of all these things. But it's beyond the what, it's beyond the how. And specifically, the identity that you seek is your why. Now, at Without Bounds, we like to say your why is the prize. Now, why is that? Why is your why the prize? So, have you ever heard of Stephen Covey and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Well, Covey talks about in the first 3 habits of highly effective people to keep the end in mind. Now, of course, he says keep first things first, but he also says keep the end in mind. Now, in this case, you might think, well, Jordan, he's talking about the outcome. You might think he's talking about the outcome, but in reality, what Covey is trying to convey here is that there is a reason that you're trying to become this. There's a reason that underneath it all is why you seek to become the outcome that you do and why you seek to do the process that you want to do. So how does this map onto life? And what is the danger of just being outcome oriented, or what are the dangers of just being process oriented? Well, the danger of just being process oriented or just being focused on the steps involved is that, again, you lose sight of what it is that you're trying to do and why you're doing it. You're kind of just doing things out of habit or out of your programming without thinking of the effects that they're going to have in your life. And when you're like that, it can be very unconscious. And I'm sure you know a lot of these people. They just start cleaning out of nowhere. They make messes without thinking. They're careless or they're overly conscientious. It tends to be along that dimension of personality for sure. And you get a lot of these people that they don't have a strong sense of who they are. They don't have a strong sense of, why is it they do what they do and what motivates them. They haven't really had time to introspect, so to speak. Versus the outcome-oriented person who has probably done a lot of soul searching. They know what they want. They know that they want to become this. They want to be the entrepreneur. They want to be Wayne, your partner in solar. You want to be the the best solar salesman or the best real estate agent, whatever it is. But instead of thinking about underneath, do they even see themselves as the outcome? Instead, it's you're moving towards the outcome without understanding from within that you see yourself in that light. And that's very powerful because it can make the difference between, it's the kind of thing where you're chasing the paper, chasing money, chasing lifestyle, but you find yourself in this position where you get what you want, but it's not enough. You don't feel fulfilled. You don't feel like you accomplished anything. And why is that? Well, it's because on your way to becoming this thing, you didn't start to see yourself as the thing you were becoming. And you end up, you get the girl, you get the car, you get the home, and you're still miserable, and you're wondering what the hell happened. And at the end of the day, it's because you were moving towards something without actually becoming it. And that's where identity comes in. Identity, again, it's the collection of habits and results that you get, and it's a way of looking at your life and saying, all right, if there's something that you want to become, if there's something that you're aimed at, how do you have to view yourself? What is it that you need to start seeing your life in? How do you need to shift your perspective? For me, and I might have brought this up before, but I got my DNA test done. I grew up around people who I consider night owls, and the DNA test says you like to wake up late in the day. Well, what happens when you wake up late? You're going to bed late. And I'm surrounded by people who consistently went to bed late. The only person in my family who never did this was my brother. My brother was always consistently going to bed between 9 and 10 o'clock, always consistently waking up around 6 o'clock, and always doing it. And the way that he would describe it is, this is who I am, this is what I do. And it was because he understood this is who I am, because he recognized this is the way that I have to continue expressing who I am, is to do this. And in my life, my identity for so long was these habits of going to bed late, staying up late, waking up late. And for me, the shift came around the end of August when I decided to say to myself, this isn't who I'm going to be anymore. I'm going to change the way I look at myself, and I'm going to change the way I look at my life. I wasn't concerned with how am I going to go to bed earlier. All my day is planned out throughout, from the hours of 9 to 1 o'clock in the morning. How am I going to change this? Instead of, yeah, man, have a great one. Be well. So, for me, the process wasn't important either. The how of what steps do I have to take to become what do I want, or the outcome of waking up earlier wasn't even important to me. Instead, what matters at that point in my life is to recognize that there's a collection of habits and results that I was doing, and that I needed to change the way I see myself, and then reverse engineer what habits and what routines, what I have to start building into my life. What do I have to become familiar with? So instead of looking at it as do this, do that, it became I am an early riser and I go to bed earlier. This is who I am. And I do this because I want to start getting more out of myself, and I want to start, again, searching for that why. Why are we becoming this? Well, I'm becoming a morning person because, there's a lot more to do and a lot more to see and say in the morning. And ultimately, staying up late meant doing work that I couldn't do as well because my eyes don't work as well at night. So I needed my rest. So it became incumbent upon me to change the way that I see myself. And I started to see myself in this light of, I am an early riser. That's my what. But my why, again, was I'm doing this so that I can change the way that I do work and change the quality of my work. And that why became the very reason that I was able to start going to bed sooner. An hour and a half sooner at the first. Then 2 hours sooner. Then 2.5 hours sooner. And it became this powerful reinforcement where the identity takes hold. And now I know myself to be a person who wakes up, before 7 or wakes up at 7. And even when I'm going to bed late now, like I did last week for some of my diversionary activities, I found myself waking up early because that's just what I'm used to now. And that's such a mind shift, such a paradigm shift, because that's what we're really seeking with the identity shift, is a paradigm shift, a way of looking at the collection of beliefs and habits that we have and realigning them in a way that allows us to start getting more from ourselves that allows us to start changing the way that we view ourselves. So how might this map onto your life? So say that you are looking to make a new change in your life. You're looking to add income to your life. You're looking to change, relationships. You're looking to make your relationship better. The key is to start asking yourself, who am I in this? And why do I want to be this? Who am I and why do I want to be this? Because you need to look at your life, or I challenge you to look at your life and ask yourself, what are the habits that I have that make me who I am? And ask yourself, what can you do to change those habits? Did you suffer what I was going through? Waking up late, going to bed late, or are you not getting enough sleep, period? Do you know yourself to be someone who doesn't get enough sleep? In my life, what I discovered was that I wanted to change my eating habits. I wanted to become more of a vegetarian a few years ago, and found myself, up against the wall because at home, everyone in the family knows me to be a meat eater. At home, everyone knows that, Jordan's not a vegetarian, but I plugged into my mind this identity. This is who I am. This is the way that I want to live, and started acting out in the world, from every time that I wasn't at home and I had the chance to feed myself, it was always vegetarian meals. And I didn't have to concern myself until I got home when my identity would clash with the identity that other people know me to be. And that's one of the challenges of this, is that you're up against people who see you as something else. So I encourage you and I challenge you to keep going, to keep pursuing and be persistent in what it is, why it is that you're doing what you're doing. And remember to hold fast to this identity, this person that you're becoming, and do what you can to feel as if you are that person today. To feel as if you are breaking through the barrier, breaking through the mold of what it is you used to be, so that you can embody what it is that you want today. To go beyond just the outcome, to go beyond the process, and to arrive at who and why you're doing it. Who and why are the ultimate questions that you have to ask yourself. Who are you becoming? Who do you want to be? And who can you start viewing yourself as, and why? Because when I became the vegetarian, and though I stopped being it, I do eat meat now, but when I became that vegetarian, when I became the early riser, for me, it was about understanding that there is something inside of me capable of doing this. There is something inside of me that craves to become this, and that I could work each day, not just on the process, not just on the outcome, but on seeing myself, on viewing myself as the person who is what I want to be, who I want to be, and why I want to be it. And feel it. Ultimately, it comes down to feeling like you are it. That way, your body starts to imprint it, starts to memorize and plug it into your subconscious and allow you to become it. So, my friends, I do have to wound up. What do I have to do? I have to wind this up for us. I have to wound this down. I don't know, talking nonsense. I do have to get going in just a moment, so we are going to wrap this up with the loving kindness meditation to take our diversion and our distraction into connection, into compassion. So if you know the loving kindness meditation, it is straightforward. It is really easy. Your mind projects images. I can overlay a beautiful sun with my mind over this phone that I'm looking at. And you can project images in your mind as well. So if you want to, you can close your eyes, and in the blackness of your eyes, behind your closed eyelids, you're going to project an image. Today, I want you to project an image of a person who you know is struggling with an identity shift, is struggling with an identity crisis, is stuck in the outcome of what they're trying to become, is stuck in the process of how they're trying to become it. And instead, this person can use a nudge, can use a mental gift of compassion to help push them in the right direction. So you're going to call this person to mind, and then you're going to repeat with the voice in your mind some phrases that I will say aloud. Feel free to use your own, otherwise I'm going to guide you in this. And when you're ready, let's begin. May you be happy. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be peaceful. May you be free of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual suffering. May you resolve your identity and know who you are and what you're becoming. May you understand why you're becoming what you are. May you be happy. May you escape the greatest sorrows of this life. May all your hopes and dreams be realized in this lifetime. May you be blessed with loving kindness, well-being, and compassion for now and always. And may I protect you, keep you, and help you achieve your greatest dreams. My friends, my family, my Without Bounds community, thank you so much for being here. I congratulate you on making it through another session, another talk with me. My name is Jordan from Without Bounds. About to sneeze. Whew. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this time with me. My wish is for you to shift your identity in the direction that you want to become. I pray for you. I wish you success in this day and moving forward. Go forth. Have a wonderful day. I'm here every 8 o'clock in the morning, ready to go live, ready to share some gold that we have here in the tank, in the treasure chest, so to speak. So join me each morning. And if you miss the talks, you can feel free to find them on YouTube at Without Bounds Now. And we're always here to heal, uplift, and empower you. We love you. Go add color to your life, my friends. Take care.